You only missed the opening prayer. I'm saying that for the recording. Vritabdhehe name jirnihi. Jirnihi, destruction, disintegration is not there for me. And what is the source of disintegration? The bubbles, the froth, the foam of what? The bubbles, froth, and foam in the form of various conditions of the body, mind, senses, emotions, etc. That is the bubble, that is the froth, that is the foam. Just like the ocean does not get sad because it has extra bubbles. Similarly, the bubbles of discontentment that arise in the antahkarana the bubbles of discontentment, disenchantment, hopelessness, fear, and any other emotions. All that we have discussed in details, all the emotions that arise in the antahkarana, the inner instrument, are what? Number one, temporary, momentary. Oh, but you don't know my emotions. They are not bubbles at all. They are immortalized bubbles. They don't go away. They do go away. The fact that you can tell me that they are bubbles, you can feel those bubbles, means you are separate from them. That which brings me to point number 2, that these bubbles cannot, just like the bubbles, the froth and the foam, cannot affect what? The one who is upholding them. Just like the ocean is unaffected because the ocean supports the world of froth, foam, and bubbles. It gives existence to them. It lends its existence to them. Therefore, because it lends its existence to them, it is belonging to a different order of reality than they are. It is immortal. I mean, even if we can talk about the ocean, it's always there. It is so much, I mean, yes, one day it may dry up, etc., but we are not looking at that. So, it is here and it is immortal, and this ocean supports the world of bubbles and foams, froth, waves. And therefore what? So therefore it cannot be affected by them. Because if I am the one lending my existence to something, that means it is dependent upon me. So therefore, the author uses the word mrisha, false. Name jirnihi, my destruction is not spelt out. By what? By these dindira, these bubbles, foam, froth. Why? Because I am this oceanic endless consciousness. Oceanic endless consciousness is there. And just like the ocean is able to see the bubbles as separate from itself, similarly, I too can sense and witness the bubbles as non-I. Oh, you just now said you have to resolve the witness. Yes, you have to resolve the witness. The status of witness is resolved because I understand that I don't need to talk of myself as a witness in order to exist. My existence is not dependent upon witnessing. This is a different argument here. So we have to see, you have to go with the flow. And the flow here is what? Kind of a different argument. And what is the different argument? Is that which we had already seen. Anything I witness cannot affect me because this is Satyam Mithya argument. Mithya cannot overpower Satyam. What is Mithya? Conditional, dependent reality. Neither here nor there. You cannot say that's the first definition of Mithya. Adhishthana ananyat Mithya. It is not other than the source upon which it relies for its miserable being, like the foam and the, what else? Bubbles, etc. It does not rely on anything else for its being. Who? I. And whereas the bubbles and the foam, this consciousness does not rely on anything. Mithya relies on consciousness for its being. Mithya is not one object. It is the reality statement of everything that is there in the universe, which I call by the word not I. Adhishthana ananyat, first definition. Second definition of mithya, sad asadbhyam anirvachya, that which cannot be categorically said to exist and yet cannot be categorically dismissed as non-existent. You cannot say, when you stand at the seashore, oh, what bubbles? There are no bubbles. There is no foam. In fact, there are no waves. You can't say that. Why? Because it is seen, it is experienced. And so because it is seen and experienced, we have to say it is there. But then you start to do a census of the bubbles. Let's see how many bubbles there are on this particular wave. Gone. As good as non-existent, mrisha. Mithya also means that while Satyam is, Mithya is non-separate from Satyam, Mithya cannot affect Satyam because it is dependent upon that. That which is dependent upon me cannot affect me. And so the bubbles here are various emotions, especially emotions that I do not like very much. And here we can bring those 6 of those. What are those? Kama, Krodha, unbridled, urgent desire, Krodha, anger, and then Lobha, avarice, Moha, delusion about my own nature and about the nature of everything else for that matter. Because if I don't know myself, I know as good as nothing. And pride, Mada. Pride in what? All my accomplishments. And people will say, I'm a self-made man. Even the self-made man needed somebody to give birth to him. Okay? He did not drop out of the sky. And that poor woman who gave birth to him sacrificed a lot to bring him up to be even able to say self-made man. Yeah. And then what else? Self-made man will say, I studied under the street light every day. Street light given. Body given. Mind to study given. One day I ate rice and dal. Next day I only had dal and rice. Yeah. Given. Dal and rice given. And they'd like to tell, I came to America with $10 in the pocket. Pocket given. $10 given. He would have studied under the street lights once, but that's becomes a thing. And then what else? Then, yeah, I had 2 pairs of clothes given. One was on the body, the other one was drying on the tree, washed and drying on the tree. Tree given to hang the clothes. Soap given to wash the clothes. Given. Now I am the big magnate, not magnet. Okay, that's a different. I'm a magnate of a huge empire. Given. self-made man makes a terrible father. Yeah, really. Of, completely jealous of his own children. I had only $10. Why do you need the money? Because you have it, Dad. That's why. I have sacrificed so much. Yeah, for us. Give. Yeah. All me, 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 me. This is mother. Mother. And then Matsarya, Matsarasya bhava. Matsarya is jealousy. When you see, and what is jealousy is also defined very well. It is the condition of the mind or the emotions. It's the emotional condition or the mental condition. When that happens, when you see somebody doing very well, and when you compare yourself to that somebody, and it rankles that you think you are not doing very well. Guneshu dosha darshanam. So even they may have many qualities. Somebody has excelled in something. They are getting a medal. They are getting some accolades. And what does this fellow do? I knew him since childhood. I knew her since childhood. What a waste of time. They don't know her. She doesn't deserve this. He doesn't deserve this. He should never have got it already. These are very difficult. Jealousy is regarded as the very difficult emotion to overcome. Very difficult. And therefore, the Bhagavad Gita says even the Jnani has to be vigilant about this. Yadrichhalabha santushtaha dvandvatito vimatsaraha. Dvandvatita means what? Beyond all duality. So here, a Jnani is being described. Yadrichhalabha santushtaha, content with whatever comes, not demanding anything. And dvandvatitaha, beyond all dualities, vimatsara, free of jealousy. That need not be mentioned. If I am free of all dualities, you don't have to mention jealousy separately, but that shows that there is something there. It becomes because of one's own insecurity, this has to be addressed. So now these 6 emotions, we are not very proud of them, are we? No. I don't want to be jealous. I don't want to be prideful. I don't want to be jealous, yet this idiot is in my life and showing off all their awards. What should I do? I don't want to be prideful, but this hand won't go down. I want to be acknowledged. Me. Look at me. Pay attention to me. See what I have done. The hand won't go down. It's either up saying, notice me, or it's patting on the chest. Me, 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 me. And then we also don't like moha. Moha is fog. Yeah, we don't like being foggy, being deluded. Nobody likes that. Baggy. All of them are addressed by nips and tucks. Yeah, even foggy. You cut out that which doesn't belong, all the notions that doesn't belong. Give yourself an emotional lift. Yeah. And so we don't like these emotions. Who wants to be angry? Nobody. Nobody wants to be angry. Anger happens. Anger comes. And anger comes, and along with that, destruction happens. Mostly self-destruction. Combustion. The force of the anger leads one to self-combust really. Nobody wants to be angry. Anger comes. And what is the cause of anger? A thwarted desire. When I want something and I can't get it, I get angry. Bhagavad Gita says, Sangat sanjayate kamaha, kamat krodho bhijayate. First, there is an association with something. I'm just minding my business, walking, and I see something in the window of a shop. It's called window shopping. The window doesn't shop, you shop, yeah. Yeah. You shop hopefully outside the window, because going inside means your book will be inside out. That's why you don't go inside. You're shopping outside. And then what? You're looking at it, and then the desire is born. Then you say, okay, I've worked very hard. I need a treat. I can't go inside, and this thing can soon be mine. It takes you a little while. It's a big shop. Where is the door? Only big windows. Where is the door? Then I find the door. I find the entrance. I go there. Then I have to go back to that, what is that called? Mannequin. I go back to that mannequin and to show the person, this is what I want. Ah, mannequin is no longer wearing the shawl that I like. What happened? I see it's being packed and sold to somebody else. By the time I went in, it was already gone. That is when anger comes. In America, there are many, many strange rituals. And one of them is called the Friday ritual after Thanksgiving. What is that called?
Black Friday.
Why is it called Black Friday? I don't know.
Because the profits. Because it's the first day that a lot of stores see a profit. They go from being in the red to being.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Or they open when the world is still black. Yeah, it's 4 o'clock they open. And in this ritual, you just go, everything is on sale and you just fight it out with people. Anger, krodha. This krodha is, leads to sad things. Road rage. Being angry at people who I actually love. And destroying something else, destroying oneself, one's own body, that also is there. So this anger is, we have to understand, is caused by thwarted desire. A desire that is not addressed or cannot be fulfilled. You have to soothe that child, placate that child. And it's not the, it's a truncated emotion arising from the unconscious mind, anger. And pride is conquered by knowing that I'm not the author of anything. Everything is already given. Oh, but this is mine. That too was given. This is my money. That was also given to you. This is my house. That was also given. No, I purchased it myself. Well, how did you purchase it? I put a down payment. Yes, down payment given. But I earned that down payment. The ability to earn, given. Paycheck, given. Buddhi, to do the job properly, given. There goes the pride. The bubble called pride is now burst. And the jealousy is conquered by pretending to be happy for that person, even though you're gnashing your teeth and the teeth are becoming calcium powder in the mouth. Yeah. So regardless of what is happening, your teeth are clenched, your fist is clenched, everything. You manage a smile and say, I'm so happy for you. You fake it and you make it, but you're not faking it. In fact, one's nature is to be no matsarya, no jealousy. Here, this is just a bubble arising, a circumstantial bubble. So the bubble is conquered by praising the person and stopping fault finding, ordering the person around. All these things are stopped. This fault finding is a big deterrent to everything, especially Vedanta knowledge. We should all have one day in the weekend of no criticism, only appreciation day. So when you feel like criticizing, convert that into an appreciation. There is one text, Dosha Pariharashtakam. How to rid ourselves of the fault of fault finding. Beautiful text. Very, very nicely written. And in that he says that when I find fault in you, I become small. Because I have to look closely to find what the fault is. And the fault is not you. The fault is not the sum total of who you are. Because everybody has their flaws, but they also have their gunas. Everybody has their wonderful qualities as well as difficult or challenging qualities. If I'm focusing on the challenging quality or something that I don't like in you, that means what? I'm doing myself a disservice and living in the world of smallness all the time. I don't see the whole picture. I'm choosing to be trapped in a small a small prison of partial vision. And this small prison of partial vision is, I'm the one who is trapped. I feel trapped by my own smallness. And that becomes a loop. And in order to get out of this prison, I find more faults. And the prison gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So this fault finding is very inimical, not only to Vedanta, but also to interpersonal connections, being. If you keep finding fault with everybody, then as soon as they see you coming, they'll duck under a bush. You will not have any friends. Oh, here comes the fault finder. They will hide. They will totally hide. You won't have any friends. It's a lonely life. Fault finding life is a lonely life because everybody avoids you. One avoids such a person. I don't want to be surrounded by somebody who's constantly critical. Why? Because thank you very much, I can do that for myself. I don't need you. I don't need you to tell me all the time what is wrong with me. Thank you very much. I'm adept at self-critique, self-loathe, check, self-critique, check. I can do that for myself. Why do I need you to keep on prodding and saying, this is not okay, this is not okay, this is not okay, you are not okay. I know I'm not okay. Yeah. Nobody wants to be reminded. Everybody is an adept. Adept at finding their own faults. Everybody knows, okay, I need to improve in these areas. Everybody knows. You don't have to go tell them. So, the fault finding is a very sad trap. Keeps you just in sorrow. Because after the whole day of fault finding, then you say, I don't feel so good. I wonder why. Yesterday I was okay. Today I'm not okay. Vedanta begins when I stop finding faults with myself and others. There is no blaming of the universe and there is no self-blame. Then only Vedanta can begin. Otherwise, you're wasting your time and mine too, frankly. Yes. So, as an exercise, I suggest one day in the weekend when everybody is at home, no criticism, only appreciation day. I said that once, I think in Atlanta, and then the person said, it's too much. One whole day of just appreciating the significant other and the teenagers. Yeah. It's just too much. I need a time out. This is how I suppose the tea, right? Yeah. Or is it like this? I don't. I need a time out. It's too much. I said, can you do half a day? Honestly, no. You don't know my marriage. You don't know my spouse. You don't know my children. So not even 4 hours, no. 8 hours out of the question. 4 hours, no. 2 hours? No. I said, well, you can't have many more choices than this. 1 hour you must do. I have a question. What? Can we break it up into 15-minute intervals every 4 hours? Every 4 hours, for 15 minutes, I'll be good. I will not find fault. I had to say, okay. Begin somewhere. Guneshu dosha darshanam. Moha is taken care of by what? By exposure to Shastra. That takes care of moha. Avarice is taken care of by living in a small house where you can't gather things. Yes, really. Don't have a big house. Even if you want to, and even if you can afford it, have a small house. And even in that house, live in one room, mostly. That's what people do anyway. And then the desire to keep on hoarding things. So much so, then you have to call the TV show and then have the. There is one TV show for people who cannot clean their houses and who keep buying things. What's that called? Hoarders, yes. And in that TV show, everything is out in the open, And I saw one. I almost missed the flight. It was such an interesting show. He was sitting in the gate, wrapped. Just keeping on looking. Oh, such people also exist in life. Poor things, just family of 4. And then there was no place even to go. And I think one of them had some problem. One of the daughters in the grown daughter who was living with the family, she could not stop buying things. Where to put them? So some OCD or something kept on compulsively buying things. And then boxes. So the TV crew opens, goes through the boxes and everything like that. And then when they were done, they were discovered the pet cat, which was missing for a few days. And they also discovered they had an extra room in the house they had forgotten about. So you cannot hoard things. Yeah. So you get one thing, and then what do? You give away another thing. I'm not saying don't buy, because I know if I say that, I'll not be popular. Buy, but after you say bye-bye to something else, after that you buy. Now look at me, I'm in such a predicament. It is what is that? It is a mark of love and respect to give Swami's orange shawls. If I kept every orange shawl that I got, I would be swimming in orange shawls. And you know how hard it is in Rishikesh to get rid of an orange shawl? Every Swami is in my predicament. There was a huge stack of orange shells. But somehow I managed. With great difficulty, I managed. I said, okay, there was a visiting Swami from somewhere, and that person that he came to my room just to say hello and everything. And then I had not seen him in a long time. And then I said, okay, please take, this is wonderful. And actually, it was cold that time. And he was going to Uttarakashi, which is a cold place. So he was happy. Didn't bring many things. So he was happy. He took that, and I said, orange shawl disposed of. And then Kirti came to visit with 2 orange. So, kya kare? That's what one has to do. Certain things people keep giving because they love you. When you don't complain. Yes. When you don't complain, you get lot of things. Yes. Get lot of things when you stop complaining, and when you stop wanting, that's the last one, karma, you get even more things. This is a very strange logic of the universe. It defies logic. Whatever you don't want, you get. Yeah. Especially when you don't want it. Whatever you want badly, you never get. And so avarice is wanting things which you already have. That is avarice. And that avarice is again because of a sense of insecurity centered on the self. This is one more bubble. Because one thinks that one more thing of the same variety may bring out something different in me. I need a different experience. I need a different engagement. I need a different thing even though it looks the same. I need that in order to complete me or as a distraction. So all that, is interrogated in the light of everything that we have been studying and that we are studying. Karma also same thing. We learn to love things from a distance. And the culture is like that. There is nothing that belongs to you really. And there's nothing that you really want. And other people's property is respected so much. Nature is respected so much. Even to cut grass for a ritual, you ask its permission. This is the opening mantra of the Yajurveda. Ishetvorjetva vagyavastho pagyavasta devo vassavita. It's the opening mantra of the Yajurveda. Ishe is grass. You're addressing the grass. May I please? I'm overpowered by my desire for this, that, and everything. May I please use a few blades of you for a sacrifice? It's all, it's all this wanting. The karma is interrogated in the light of 2 things. One is to understand that my nature is to be a non-wanting person. Nobody wants things anymore. People are, people can buy whatever they want. Mostly the desire is to be noticed, to be included, to be loved, to be validated. Those are all the wants that are subtle wants that are lurking in the corner of the heart. I want to be noticed. I want to matter. And that becomes, if that becomes the reason to enter into Vedanta, this has to be interrogated. If I'm coming to Vedanta so that everybody will respect me because I'm studying this, not a good reason to study. Not a good reason to study. I'm studying Vedanta so that afterwards I can teach and I can become popular. Not a good reason to study. I'm studying Vedanta because the Guru will pay attention to me. Not at all a good reason to study. Yes. It's not the Guru's job to pay attention to you. And the teacher's job is to teach, not to babysit your inner brats. Okay, yeah. Inner brats, I take care of. I don't give it to somebody else to babysit. So, this way one grows. First, these bubbles, forms, etc., we work with them. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. We work with them. And then they are stubborn. Sometimes they still appear on that oceanic, immortal, unchanging consciousness that is I. So when bubbles of sorrow, despair, hopelessness, anger appear, so I have to put this in practice. I have to see them as bubbles. I have to know them as momentary. And secondly, and I have to know them as notional. And secondly, I have to exercise this logic that if I am supporting the bubbles are arising because of my own existence. They are borrowed, they are shining in borrowed existence. They cannot have power over me. This is a very important second point. They cannot have power over me. In fact, it is the Satchidananda that upholds the sadness. Even when you're sitting there, crying, crying buckets, and feeling sorry for yourself, it is Satchidananda. Ananda is as though shedding tears, just like the oceanic consciousness is big enough to support a few bubbles, froth, and foam, knowing that the foam will not attack the ocean. That's the first line of this example. Very beautiful. Such a lovely metaphor. So much we can keep talking about it. That's the beauty of the metaphor. You know, beauty of the metaphor is that it gives this very what's that? You know, you can keep on. It keeps on giving. It's a gift that keeps on giving. You can keep on talking about it. And then the second example. So Mrisha, let's look at this and grammatically and make sure we understand it. Amritabdhehe, for me, for this, for me, who is me Amritabdhehe, for me who is the ocean of immortality, na jirnihi, no disintegration is there. And what are the sources of disintegration? Dindira. The birth of the dindira, foam, froth, bubbles, etc. Through the foam, froth, bubbles, the birth of the foam, froth, bubbles, which are what? Mrisha, mithya, dependent upon me, momentary. There cannot be destruction for me because of the bubbles, froth, foam, which the oceanic consciousness, free of all those things, as though supports. So the bubbles, froth, and foam of negative emotions, fears, tears, sorrow, hopelessness are but a projection, a superimposition upon that I which is free of those emotions. That's the first example. Then Spatikadri. Adri means hill, mountain. Spatikadri. Very beautiful. Imagine there is a crystal mountain. So the crystal mountain, if it is there, how beautiful it will be. What will it do? It will keep reflecting all the time. It will reflect all the trees around it, the crystal mountain. So let's say it is by the river or by a lake. It will reflect the lake. And then it will reflect the sky. All the clouds will be seen passing through it. And then what will happen at sunset? Oh, it will become a bright orange with shades of red, yellow, purple, white. Amazing. This is the example. So, Spatikadri. Who is that Spatikadri? Me. I, Satchidananda, am a crystal mountain in the middle of this manifest Jagat. I am a crystal mountain in the middle of this manifest Jagat. And this crystal mountain, what does it do? Merely reflects what is there in the Jagat. Just like even this little chota crystal mountain reflects all that is there. It just reflects. It simply is, and it reflects. So you put some pink color behind it. Okay, we won't. Okay, yeah. So we put this pink flower behind it, and then what does the crystal mountain do? Become pink. Become pink? No, no, no. As though become pink. And then that is done. And then you put the orange fruit behind the crystal mountain. It's all in the angle here. Yes. Can you see? No. Yes. No. Yeah. Yes. 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 Okay. Hold it just like that. Don't move. Okay. So notes to the self. Don't move. Hold it just like that. Then, then you put orange behind the crystal mountain. You can't say, "Oh, I love orange," and you can't start eating the crystal, right? Yeah. So the idea is whatever it projects, whatever it reflects, it is free of that. All the things that it reflects becomes an upadhi. Upadhi means and as though and as though coloration. It's not real. It becomes a container for this consciousness which is uncontained. So it reflects the water, but yet if I touch the crystal mountain, it's not wet. It reflects the greenery, yet I can't pluck some leaves by plucking the crystal mountain. It reflects the sunset, yet it is not really the sunset, it's reflecting that sunset. So out of all the things it reflects, the sunset is taken up with its myriad of colors in the example. So for me, who is what? Sphatikadri. For me, who is the crystal mountain, Name Ragah. Name Ragah. Raga, pun intended. Two meanings are given. One is the coloration. The coloration does not belong to me. So like this crystal mountain reflects and throws out so many colors that it just simply mirrors so many colors without becoming any one of them. And the crystal mountain, like consciousness, free of all colorations, supports every color. Color here is emotions. That's why I spent a lot of time talking about emotions. Supports every emotion. The northern lights, crystal mountain will support. Southern lights, it will support. And a hot day, anger, it will support without taking on the properties of that, just like it supports. So one is the coloration and raga, but also it literally means raga dvesha. Strong preferences and prejudices belong to the body, mind, sense complex, not to the I. But this is not how we lead our lives. We invest a lot in the personality. This I like, that one I don't like. Even marriages are made that way. And then you just put your profile in a computer, and then that other person also puts their profile in the computer. But pray tell, what is this profile? All the raga dveshas are the profiles. Yeah. What I like hiking. I like going to movies. I like reading. I like eating in restaurants. And the computer matches with another person who likes reading, who likes walking, who likes movies. And the same people who are in the West make fun of arranged marriages in India. Yeah. Arranged marriage means what? At least we are looking at the horoscope. Horoscope is a manifestation of Bhagavan. At least we are leaving it to Bhagavan consciously. Here you are allowing one AI, the computer, to set you up for life. Kya baat hai? This is what it is. It's all based on the personality. And the personality is angular, sharp. pricks you and pricks the other person also. Hurts. And the personality is always changing, 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 changing. Personality is never constant. By the time you say, I love hiking, and then the computer sets this person up with another person who likes hiking. I don't like hiking anymore. What happened? I sprained my foot. And I have been told to not walk for 6 weeks. You can put one more like. This is getting in there. It is getting somewhat common in Vedantic circles. I love Vedanta. Maybe that is a sane thing to put. I don't know. But all these things based on the likes, that's all just superficial. You can't marry somebody because you like ice cream and they like ice cream. A very flimsy reason. But that's how the whole world functions. You see only the superficial thing. Oh, you like to go out for coffee? I also like to go out for coffee. Let's become friends. Yes. I made a new friend. Oh, really? What do you like to do? We love to go out for coffee. And then what? First time coffee, very nice. Second time coffee, very nice. Oh, the more I see you, the more I like you. I've never had a friend like that. And third time, coffee was okay, mood was offy. Yes. Since the mood was off, it gave me pause. I don't think I like you that much anymore. So it's all a very surface level, flimsy thing. All these connections we have, superficial. All this nice talk. How are you? Oh, wonderful. How are you? Like this. But the how are you doesn't have any meaning. In India, you never ask anybody how you are because you're not prepared to sit down for 5 hours afterwards. you know, I had a very funny thing happened to me when I first came into this country. I had fever and just, so far away from India. I was thinking, what have I done? Why have I come here? What is all this? Not feeling well. Then in the middle of all this, I had to go grocery shopping. I went grocery shopping. I had to buy a few things. So then, the cashier saw me and said, hey, how are you doing? I felt so happy. Oh, young lad. He's asking me how I'm doing. And I said, well, so far away from home. I'm having second thoughts. I have fever. And not doing too well today. Not feeling that well. What did he say? 299, 199, 499. Have a good day. Have a lovely day. Have a nice day. So, and I have been on the other side of that also. Once I had to go somewhere. Where was that? Somewhere in near the Shasta Mountain, northern California. I had to go do a fire ritual there. I took a bus from Eugene, went there, did the fire ritual, and I was coming back on the bus. And then whoever was going to pick me up, they called saying, is the bus on time? And are you getting off at the Eugene stop? And then before that, the person sitting next to me had a lot to tell about herself. It was unending, 4-hour bus ride, and she had not stopped talking about herself. So I said, yes, I'm getting off at the next stop. It's 10 minutes away or 15 minutes away. And then as soon as I hung up, she said, "Can I have your phone?" I thought she wanted to make a call. So I gave her the phone. She called the last number of the person who called, and she said, "I still haven't finished talking." Can you pick her up from Springfield and not Eugene? Next stop. So if you start answering the question, "How are you?" even the happiest person will start getting depressed. Because the longer you dwell on anatma, that becomes the reality. Are you having a nice day? That's why in India we don't bother at all. First you're very bright and, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and eager and, "Yes, yes, I'm having a very nice day." All the other person has to say, "Really?" Then you start doubting. "Oh, I don't know. Well, yeah, okay, yeah, not good." This is just the impressions. The impressions are not you. Things that happen to the body, not you. Things that happen to the mind, of course, not you. Things that are seen, fleeting in the emotions, like the sunset, the sunrise, and all the things reflected on the crystal mountain. You are free of all of that. Likes and dislikes, finally, are not you. Not at all you. You cannot claim the likes and dislikes as you, because what are you? Purusha, not the personality. You are the person. The person has to be recognized as I, not the personality. Person is recognized as I. And this is what is the reality. And a beautiful example is given of two friends going on a walk. And on the one of them was a sculptor. Lot of sculptor stories. And the sculptor said, "Oh, here is a nice rock. Can you please help me to bring this to my house?" And the other one could do that. And what happened to the other one? The other one said, "Yes, I will help you." The other one had a vehicle, so called some friends, took this big rock and put it in the backyard of the other friend's house. 6 weeks passed by without him seeing his friend. Finally, he got a call from the friend. "Would you like to come by?" "Yes, yes, I'd like to come by." And then he goes in the yard. There is this beautiful Krishna figurine. "When did you sculpt this?" "You know, that rock which you helped is now this Krishna." "OMG, you are so talented in such a short time. How did you know how to sculpt Krishna?" He says, "Nobody knows how to sculpt Krishna." "But you did this." "What did I do? I just chipped away at non-Krishna, non-Krishna, non-Krishna parts of the stone. Krishna shown." So the personality is what? Non-Krishna, non-Bhagavan. Non-Bhagavan, 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 everything is non-Bhagavan. When the non-Bhagavan drops, what shines is Bhagavan. Raga, Dvesha, non-Bhagavan. Kama, Krodha, non-Bhagavan. Every other coloration, preferences, prejudices, non-Bhagavan. So I let that drop. I allow that to not preponderate. "Oh, but then my likes and dislikes will go away." No, they won't go away. They will become glories. Just like the peacock feather on Lord Krishna's hair. We like that. Even if he doesn't have it, anywhere we will put that. His likes and the likes and dislikes of a jnani become the glories for all other people to enjoy. Because the jnani is not connected to those likes and dislikes. They become vibhutis. Like Pitambara Dhari, yellow dhoti loving Krishna. If you take away the yellow dhoti, give him a green dhoti, he's not going to sit and cry. Kunja Vihari. And then what else, And this one, Murali Dhara. Murali Dhara means holding the flute loving the producing music of the flutes. Oh, Krishna has raga for the flute. Take away the flute. It's not going to make a difference. We love the music of the flute. We love the fact that he plays the flute. And so, so if one is understanding this, and when one becomes a jnani, the likes and dislikes are toothless. You play with them. Everybody enjoys them. You also enjoy them. If you are tormented by them, then this verse is for you. Patikadri, I am the crystal mountain. Then in the next three verses, one by one, he is going to take up Sat, Chit, Ananda. What numbers are they? Please tell me. 22, 23, 24. 22 is going to take up Sat, 23 is going to take up Chit and elaborate on that, and 24 is going to take up what? Ananta, Ananda. This again is the elucidation, unfoldment of what was said in the first verse after the prayer. Ahamasmi sadabhami kadachinna ahamapriyah. So all the Sachidananda was mentioned in a capsule form in one verse. And now each one, Sat, Chit, Ananda, from each standpoint, it's going to be unfolded in the next three verses. That's what we have to look forward to, starting with the evening class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Okay, you didn't get this, right? You did? Yeah. Here. And I'll give one for Gary also. Can you see me tomorrow? Yes? Or would you like it to be today itself?
Tomorrow's okay.
Tomorrow is okay? Yeah? Okay. Recording.